All right, class, we're to lesson number 2 for math today. Our objectives is we're going to find half of an even number, find half of an odd number, and we're going to describe a number as even and odd. Yesterday we had sequences, and we said 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Those were all even numbers, and if that sequence continues, they'll all be even. If we had a sequence like this, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, those are just going up by 2, but it's all the odd numbers. I have them written on the board for you today. If I was you, I'd write them down on the top, on the back side of my sheet. We only have 2 examples today, but let's still divide it into fourths to get in a good habit. So you got your power up. You can divide that into fourths, one vertical line, one horizontal line, as we work through this. Before we get to it, though, I'd like to, well, I don't know about you guys, but I learned about even and odd numbers when I was a little kid. Yeah, I had this brother, this rascally little brother of mine. Don't say 6th grade, Mr. Bauer is a rascal. Anyhow, we would have a big old pile of candy, and as all kids, we want to make sure that we're fair. So we'd say, oh, 1 for 6th grade, Mr. Bauer. 1 for me. 1 for 6th grade, Mr. Bauer. 1 for me. 1 for 6th grade, Mr. Bauer. And 1 for me. And I had 6 of these little pieces of candy. 6 pieces of candy, and 1 for him, 1 for me, 1 for him, 1 for me, 1 for him, 1 for me. And everybody was happy because everybody had a partner. Well, 6 is an even number. But let's change this up a little bit. Let's get these candies here, and let's add one more. We got 7 of them now. Okay, we got 1 for Mr. Bauer, 1 for me. Everybody's happy. 1 for Mr. Bauer, 1 for me. Everybody's happy. 1 for my brother, 1 for me. Everybody's happy. And, uh-oh. I got one more. I got somebody without a partner. I like to call him an oddball. Now, why would I call him an oddball? Because 7 is an odd number, which means we can't divide it into groups evenly. 6 we could, 7 we can't, 8. Well, usually I'd say something like this, my brother. Hey, look at the bird. And I'd eat it, and then everybody would be happy. Now, where else do we worry about odds and evens? Remember when you're folding laundry and you got the socks and the socks come out? This guy and this guy match, everybody's happy. This guy and this guy match, everybody's happy. This guy does not have a match. The washing machine ate the other one, so I have an oddball, an extra one. Well, let's see what this looks like when we're talking about math. Here we are. We're in even and odd numbers, lesson 2, page 11. At the bottom of the screen, they have them all written there for you. Here are all the whole number counting numbers, and here are just the even ones. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20, and so on and so forth. And now they give you the definition of even and odd. An even number is any number that ends with a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. As big as the number as you can make it, and you want to know if it's even or odd, if I'm going to get the same number as my brother, you look at the last digit. If it ends with an even number, the whole number is even. Even if it has a whole bunch of odd numbers in it, that doesn't matter. The last digit tells if it's even or odd. If the last digit is a 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, it's even. If the last digit is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, it's odd. So there was a little dot thing, like my little candy experiment that they did. Notice this one's even. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12's even. And notice 13 is odd. We got an oddball. We got 1 left over here. All right, well, let's check example number 1 out. You have your sheet. You have it divided into fourths. We're in example number 1. It says, which of these numbers is even? The first one is 3,586. Now, remember, we always look at the last digit to tell if it's odd or even. So go ahead and underline the 6. Look at your little chart up there. 6 is even, so this one is even. The next one. 2,345, the last digit is 5. A 5 is odd. That whole number is odd. When you get down to the end, there'll be 1 left over. It's an oddball. And the last one is 2,223, and the last digit is a 3, and a 3 is odd. Now, if you guys can't remember that, go ahead and write it on your paper right now so you have it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, not 10. 0 is even. Any number that ends with that is even. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Those are all the odd numbers. Any number that ends with one of those is odd. All right, well, let's check out our second one here. It says, which of these numbers is not odd? Now, I don't really like that because they put the not in there, sometimes confuse kids. So think to yourself the opposite. Which one of these is even? Well, let's look at the last digits. The last digit has a 6, so that one is even. That's the one we're looking for. 123,456. Let's look at this one. Ends with a 1, so that one is odd. It has an oddball. And how about this one? 353,535. That one's odd. So those are all the examples that we have, but the last thing we want to do is we want to find out what the half of an even number is and half of an odd number. And this is a lesson like I like to teach the hayya. So let's take a look over here. We have 1, which is an odd number, and we know that if we had 1 candy, either myself or my brother would not be happy. Okay? So what's half of 1? Well, if I had 1 candy and I wanted to give some to my brother and some to me, I probably need a knife. I can do it with my teeth. I'd give him a half, and he'd give me a half. So what is half of an odd number is always a half. So I cut it in half, I get a half. Well, what's half of an even number? Well, I got 2 candies. And if you got candies at home, feel free to do this. All right, give one to your brother, give one to yourself. I give him one, I give myself one. And how many do I have? I have 1. So half of an even number is always a whole number. Well, now I have 3. 1, 2, 3. Give him 1, give me 1. Oh, it's an odd number. I got that 1 left over. So what am I going to do? I'm going to give it the hi-ya. What does that mean? Well, if I'm going to take 3 and I'm going to break it apart, I'm going to have those 2. And I give 1 to my brother. So let's split it in half, hi-ya. 1 and a half. Now this is pretty easy because I think you can see the pattern. 1 half. 1. 1 and a half. Half of 4 is 2. How about we just do the even numbers? Half of 6 is 3. Half of 8 is 4. Half of 10 is 5. Now we can go back and fill these in. 5 is 1 more than 4, so we got to give that extra one the hi-ya, so it would be 2 and a half. Every time we give something the hi-ya, we cut it in half. So we got 6 now, and I give 3 to my brother and 3 to me. Everybody's happy. But now we have 7, and so we got to get that last one, the hi-ya. And we're going to cut it in half so we get 3 and a half. And 8, everybody's happy. 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for me. 8 is 4, and 9 is 1 more, so we're going to give it the hi-ya. So another way to say it is go back to the closest even number, and then give it the hi-ya, 4 and a half. Now, I talk a second about fractions here. Whenever you write a fraction, it should be as tall as the whole number. It shouldn't look like this, 4 and 1 half, because that actually looks like 41 halves. It should look like this, 4 and a half. Notice my fraction is as tall as my whole number. All right, quick review today. We want to find half of an even number and then half of an odd number. We're going to do that by giving it the hi-ya. We're going to describe a number as even or odd. Let's take a look at some of the problems. The first one says describe each number as even or odd. A 0 is always, class, even. Good. Use your chart if you have to. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. If it ends with that, it's even. 1,234. You're looking at the last digits. None of those matter except for the 4. And the 4 is, good job. Oops, can't see. And the 4 is even. Take a look at the C. 20,001. And the last digit is a 1. It's odd, so the whole number is odd. 999. Odd. Very good. And 3,000 ends with a 0, so it's even. And the last one ends with an 8, so it's even. Okay? Now they're going to ask you some word problems like G, so we're going to practice this one. All the students in class separated into 2 groups. The same number of students were in each group was the number of students even or odd. Okay, so it would look like this. Student in each group, students same number in each group. You'd have to give them the hi-ya. So if there's the same in each line, then it's always going to be even. Then the next question they'll ask you is, hey, what if there was one line that had one more boy than girls? Would it be odd or even? Anytime you have one more, it would be odd. All right, guys, have a great day.